going to challenge your mind. I'm an adult-oriented character, but I come out children understand that that's a monster, you know? So, and that's what I've tried to build myself into. Challenge your mind, remember.
Sometimes do you feel like it is okay to go back to ABC to sell that pay-per-view? Or because, sometimes I listen to your stuff and it's like poetry to me. I dig it. I see what you're doing. But sometimes I think, well, is everybody getting this? Because what it's got to boil down to is we're in the business of people putting people's asses in the seats. Every 18 inches, they got to be an ass. And, or you ain't gonna make no money. Do sometimes you feel like you do need to be very transparent? This is what's going to happen after that soliloquy?
And I think that happens naturally. For instance, when I first reviewed, I was trying to explain this person, but in this simple way. And if you look at what the things I did, right from the beginning, they were extremely confusing and poetic. And that's just the way it was. It was my art, my way of explaining who I was. Because I never liked people to just look at us and they immediately go, oh yeah, I understand that. They're hillbillies or whatever. And I wanted it to be a lot more complicated than that. And I think that's what we got behind, People go, it's on the Godwins. But then when they started listening to us and started seeing that we were way out of bounds, it initially caught their attention. But when you get a Steve and me and Daniel Bryan, and me and John Cena, or me and Dean Ambrose, I am the type of person that I cut into your mind, and I can put those generalities out there. Here's why, and here's what I'm going to do to you, and they all understand that.
But to see them just written out on a computer screen is a whole different ballgame. So obviously you have a vast creative side to your brain, but also are you a voracious reader of novels, of stuff? Because it seems like you're a well-read person just by reading your promos, much less listening to them.
I mean, a little bit of everything. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but a lot of it stems from music, and I have for some reason, I just come up with it. I don't, because of all the things that I've studied and been through my life. A lot of it I just come up with.
Hey, right now, as we speak, a young man named Roman Reigns is recovering from a hernia surgery. Roman obviously come from the school there with you. You guys have been feuding, obviously enemies but friends within the structure of the business. As he gets well, I'm wondering, is he watching what's going on? Is he learning while he's down with an injury? My question to you is, when you had your pectoral tear, and you were on the mend, what were you doing? I mean, what changed in your mind about how you perceived the business? Because when I was down with the neck surgery, it was hard for me to watch, but I watched and I learned a lot just from watching and studying the business. What did you learn when you were gone? How did you come up with the name Bray Wyatt?
Very cool. It's been crossed. When I was talking to Whaler, I imagine it came from Whaler Jenny, the first name, Mercy. I'm not sure where that came from, but he was telling me about how he got the character from beer. But what was real interesting is that he's from around the same region I'm from, Florida. Right. And he's going, man, I grew up with so many crazy jobs. I just took inspiration from people that I knew growing up. So when I went back and I started doing the Bray Wyatt character, I had ideas for ending and this and that. But then I got back to my roots and where I came from. I mean, I had a childhood friend, his name was Bray Wyatt.
Right.
And Bray Wyatt was one of the most intense individuals I've ever known. He was in a car accident when he was young. and he lost the feeling in his face, and he's got these scars on his face. And he was basically impossible to knock out. And he had no feeling in his face.
Right.
And he was just this intense country boy, a little older than me. I looked up to him when I was a kid. And so the name Bray came from him, and Wyatt is Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp. So you're a Western fan as well.
I will say, yeah, what I like is I like outlaws. I'm an Oakland Raiders fan because I like outlaws. I like top 30, you know what I mean? I think you can respect that.
I can't.
But
That's part of the character part, but the in-ring stuff that Bray Wyatt does, just in regards to the physical work, not the spider walk or any of that stuff, was there anybody that influenced your work? Or if they did not influence your work, were there guys that you watched, guys before your time that you appreciated their work style in the ring? Who were some of the guys that you looked to just that you liked watching them work?
Well, to be honest, not to toot your own horn, but you, of course, and I like the guys that were different. What made what they did work.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of Dick Robert. I'll always be a fan of Dick Robert.
Huge fan myself.
Yeah, a lot of my ideas, him and cartoon him do. Mick Foley was a big influence. Harry Blunk, Harry Gordon, Kirk Hennig, all these different styles. I studied and that's what I wanted to be, with a hybrid of everything that I thought was cool. Combine that with the freedom I gained when I went under the mare here a little bit, and I started just letting my Pacific strange little quirk that only belonged to me come out. And I have little things that I do that I can't even control, like some reason when I go out there, my right hand goes nuts. And I can't blow down my hand. It's just a natural quirk that I have and no one else there. And the way I move and things, right, the way I sell things, and I can't control you. I couldn't teach anyone to do it. It's just letting myself be free and letting myself do everything that it wants to do without trying to put restrictions and boundaries on it. All those things, and if you watch a Terry Funk match, you can see exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
You can't teach anyone to be Terry Funk. Terry Funk was just Terry Funk. And those kind of lessons, like watching enough of it and learning that, man, there's no restrictions on this. You can do whatever you want. And that's what made me.
When I look at some of my favorite matches of all time, there's been some hellacious matches against, technical wrestlers. Looking back, so some of the things that you witnessed, what would be some of the favorite matches of Bray Wyatt that you were not a part of?
One match that I've taken a lot from, these past 2 years, is Shawn Michaels and Mankind in your house.
Right.
Yeah, just the violent face of that man, particular. I mean, it was incredible. Some of the unique things Rick could do, attack, the unbelievable in-ring ability of Shawn Michaels. I have to think that is possibly my favorite match of all time. But there's so many that I've taken from, so many that I've watched and admired. I always loved any combination of Vader and Stan Hansen.
Yep.
Or Vader and Bing is actually very fun to watch as well.
Yeah.
I just like kind of those brutal forces where when I have my eye, I can tell that they're out there and they're just fighting each other. That's really exciting to me as a viewer and as a fan of this business, to watch and be able to try to pick apart, how exactly they put this string together, what was going on in their mind. But I like any of those type of era matches, little violent and little ones. There's so many I could sit here and name them all day, but those are some of the few that stuck out to me.
When I see the Wyatt family as a whole unit, and you look at Luke Harper, he reminds me from a visual standpoint so much of Bruiser Brody. Were you a fan of Brody's work?
Oh, of course. I was actually watching him and Terry Punk the other night. They're still out there and they're just the hell out of each other. But I like Brody. I like Brody, how Pace was. And you were talking earlier about The Undertaker. The Undertaker just, flies around the ring and, you need gas mask, an oxygen mask. You pub with him, and that's what it looked like with Brody, too.
Right.
Standing tall and barking your friends, and you had to really just keep them down. And, keep them down, beat the hell out of them to get them to cooperate.
Oh, yeah, if you wasn't in shape, he would eat your lunch up.
Oh, yeah, huge Brody fan.